Thank you for checking out this little teaser of the history of the papacy and church. Here's a little taste of what's coming up soon on the History of the Papacy podcast. Now, if you like what you hear, I'd love it if you'd leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice. If you want to support the podcast even more, consider becoming a Patreon on patreon.com/history of the papacy. There are many levels and benefits for you, and you help keep the history of the papacy going. You can learn more about all of this at historyofthepapacypodcast.com. With that, here's another piece of the mosaic of the popes of Rome and Christian church, and I will definitely be talking to you more soon. Now, for those who've never been to Rome or who had one of those lousy tour guides that you've spoken of, what is the Vatican Hill neighborhood and how does it fit in with the topography and the history of Rome?
Well, Vatican is actually built on what was a long time ago a hill, and it was a hill right outside of the traditional wall of Rome, about roughly 300 yards from what became Nero's palace, and it was a garbage dump. That's what it was. It was a hill, okay, but not one of the 7 hills of Rome. It's not so far off the Tiber River, and it was used to throw stuff on. And what really happened is, of course, Peter, after he was killed, was just the body of a slave. His body was thrown on that hill, and his friends came, and Christians came. They buried him. They eventually put up a marker. And then later, shortly after that, it became a place where Romans built elaborate tombs. You could see in those days the road to Naples went right by Vatican Hill, and you could actually look up on the hill and you could see the tombs. And so they'd go by and they'd go, "Hey, there's the Guerra family tomb, or there's the O'Neill family tomb." And these were elaborate family tombs, almost like second houses. And so the whole family would get together. The O'Neills would get together on Vesuvius or 4 or 5 times a year, and the Romans cremated their dead, so they'd have ashes of their ancestors, and they'd go, "Hey, there's Uncle George up there. Remember Uncle George?" And then around the center of the tomb, in many cases, there were fabulous pictures, portraits, almost like a big movie room is what I think about, from plays and from other stuff. And so they were like second homes, and you could look at them as you left Rome. And anyway, much later, Constantine came, and he had promised specifically his mother